It's time for Come and Talk It with your host, Michael Cargill, brought to you by Texas Law Shield. Over the last decade, Michael has championed and supported the rights of law-abiding Texans to own and use firearms. He is the owner of Central Texas Gun Works, a veteran of the United States Army, and has achieved national exposure in such prestigious media outlets such as Forbes Magazine, Fox Business News, CNN Money, AOL, BBC World News, Huffington Post, and the New York Times. Cargill vigorously defends lawful gun ownership in this country without regard to party politics. And now, here's Michael Cargill.
Come on, bro, we gotta go.
Yes, it's got to stop because, we're working hard to support our family. So why don't they go find a job to support their own family instead of going kill people and damage family to get the money? That's wrong. I've been married to him for 17 years and he's such a nice guy. I don't know why they do that to him.
Good day, Austin, Texas, live music capital of the world. Let's praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. All right, so we're taking a look at the Vallejo. It's actually in Vallejo, California. A store owner is in critical condition after being shot during a robbery. The robbery happened Tuesday night at the Dollar Plus and a party supply store. And surveillance video shows two armed men walking into the store. One man brandishing a rifle and a woman actually behind the counter, who is also the owner's sister. The man actually opens fire on the owner, Mark Quitt, 49 years old, who also fired a firearm at the intruder. And so his family says that the owner's wife, she says that this isn't the first time that the store, has actually been robbed. And so, man, that was crazy. You got to be prepared. It's up to you to protect yourself and to protect your family. The police are not going to be there enough time to show up to protect you. So it's up to you to, you need to be proficient with your firearm. You need to, identify that threat. You see someone with a gun, you need to stop that threat immediately. Because by the time the police show up, they're going to be there to fill out a report. They're not going to be there to save you. It's up to you to save yourself and also save your family. So in this situation here, these guys walked into the gun store. Walked into the store. Let's roll that video one more time. They walked into the store, and these guys they pretty much checked out the store. They make sure that no one else was inside. They walked to the rear of the store, and they pulled out their firearm, and then actually, they first shot at the store owner who was actually in the rear of the store. And then, their intentions was to rob the place. So, man, I tell you, you got to be proficient. You got to shoot that threat and stop that threat. Because unfortunately, the store owner, he was not able to shoot the robbers, but they were able to shoot him. And so, man, you gotta pull that gun out. Be proficient with that gun. Be able to pull the gun out within 3 or 4 seconds to stop that threat. All right, so we're going to talk about that and other things today. Man, we have inside the studio, we have Mike Zabonick.
That's close.
Mike Zabonick, and he is a Texan who is known for his appearances on the reality TV show Iron Resurrection. Is that right?
That's it.
All right, Iron Resurrection. And he's a welder and a mechanic known for his work restoring and fabricating cars and trucks. So we're going to talk with Mike inside the studio. Also, we're going to talk about Ted Cruz. Man, I love Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz, he's my road dog.
Yeah,
I love Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz stands up for the Second Amendment. Ted Cruz, he protects us when no one else protects us. We're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
This is Brittany Glaze, and I get my global gun news from Michael Cargill on Come and Talk It.
I'm a U.S. Army veteran with a strong sense of duty and respect for our system of government. After 12 years, I was honorably discharged and decided I would fulfill the American dream of entrepreneurship and open up a gun shop in Austin, Texas. At my shop, I teach people to be law-abiding and how to safely use their firearm. On page 46, going to talk about Penal Code Section 46.02. The day that ban went into effect, I went into my local ATF in Austin and turned over my bump stock because I'm a law-abiding citizen. But I wasn't going down without a legal fight. So that's why I reached out to NCLA.
NCLA is representing Michael Cargill because federal agencies do not have the power to rewrite statutes. Bump stocks are not machine guns. If Congress wants to change the law and ban bump stocks, it certainly can do so. But we can't have the executive branch rewriting a statute and putting people in jail for up to 10 years.
It's a problem because, this government agency has said, you know what, something that is legal is now illegal, and we're going to confiscate it from you, and we're not going to compensate you for it, and you're going to become a criminal.
The goal of our case here is to tell the ATF that they can't get away with this kind of administrative lawmaking. This isn't constitutionally permissible, and this goes against everything that our nation was founded on.
The bump stock ban turned innocent law-abiding citizens into criminals overnight, even though they were compliant with the statute. And that's not right.
This case is not about where you stand on bump stocks. It's about the...
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so we're back and we're talking about what's happening around the country. We're talking about Ted Cruz. Like I said before, I love Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz is my road dog. If anyone stands up for the Second Amendment, that's going to be Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz thinks about us. He supports us. He supports the Second Amendment. But you know what? I got to give him some stuff. This week he kind of messed up. He really messed up this week. So I got to give him some problems, some issues about that. Because this week, Ted Cruz went to Mexico. he left us, He kind of abandoned us a little bit. So I got to give him some issues about that, But you know what? Have no fear. I support Ted Cruz. He's my road dog. I support him. But you know what, Ted? Why'd you have to go to Mexico? Why'd you have to go to Mexico? No, not Mexico. Of all places, he goes to Mexico. We're trying to build a wall, but he goes to Mexico. He goes to Mexico while we're having issues, with the weather here. It's freezing in Texas, and let me tell you, we're having all kinds of problems. Man, this week, what'd you have? You have issues with
Oh, yeah, you say issues. I had a house without power.
No power.
It was a little over 20 degrees inside.
Little over 20.
Yeah. And, and then to top that off, 2 pipes burst behind the wall, flooding various parts of my home.
And people say, you know what? Well, he's a senator. Oh my God, he has nothing to do with, the power. He can't fix the issue that there was the freezing, the snow, he can't fix the issue with the water. Yes, I know this, but he's the United States Senator. He's the U.S. Senator, one of 2 for the entire state of Texas. And so his job, what is a senator's job? Well, a senator's job is to listen to his constituents. And take care of their issues for the state. If we have issues with power, water, whatever it is, he can go to the federal government, even though, hey, we're not supposed to depend on the federal government. You're supposed to depend on yourself. You know, you're supposed to take care of yourself and take care of your family. And by the way, I pulled out my water that was in my stash there that was dated for 2013 that I used for my toilet. Because this week I lost my power, I lost water, and the entire week I had no heat. So my dogs were literally looking at me thinking, hey, look here, dude. You're the breadwinner. You're the alpha dog. What's up?
Make something happen, Mike.
Make it happen. Make it happen now. You know what? You're, dude. Hey, we're code. You know, we're cold right now. You need to make it happen, dude, because you're the alpha dog. So I had to make it happen. I had to produce some heat. I had to go out. I had to. I'm not gonna tell you what I had to do. By the way, if there are any videos out there of me taking wood, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm just saying, my bad. I'm sorry. I needed wood for the house, so I had to get some wood because I had to light the fireplace. You know. And by the way, I felt like the Waltons. And by the way, if you don't know who the Waltons are, screw you. All right, so the Waltons. I had to go out there like the Waltons and boil some water, you know, big pots of water, and say, hey, here's big pots of water. And I put water in the sink and all the sinks in the house. And okay, by the way, now you guys can go out there and you can wash your face and brush your teeth because I have some warm water in your sink now. You know, I did that like in the mornings for like 3 mornings in a row, you know? All right, so Mike, come on in here. Join in here in the conversation, right. Mike. Mike is from the show Resurrection.
Iron Resurrection.
Iron Resurrection. So come on here, Mike. Tell us, you know, what was your experience like? Well, first, tell us about yourself. You know, what do you do? Tell us about the show. And, you know, and then we'll get into the experience of the Austin, Texas, you know, debacle.
Well, fortunately, I'm involved with a show that my buddy basically owns. Him and his wife, they own the business and stuff. And we came down here probably 10 years ago, and we were fortunate enough that we got a show put together, and it got picked up. So we've been doing it for 5 years now.
And you guys are on what channel?
It's on Motor Trend.
Motor Trend,
yeah. Okay. Which is a station of Discovery. I think Discovery may own 10 or 11 of them. So, so we're in our 5th season, so we're doing really well. It rates really well. And what we do restaurant mods on cars. We really don't restore them, but we'll take any kind of old car you want and we'll update it. You know what I mean? We'll make it modern for you so it'll drive like a new car.
So I got a Green Expedition. It was our range vehicle that one of my employees, Matthew, if you're listening, Matthew actually took our Expedition that we used to go to the gun range and to pick up tacos and breakfast tacos and also pizza for our students for the class. Well, Matthew takes our Green Expedition, our work vehicle, and he runs over a curve. He breaks the frame. Oh yeah.
He hit the curb. He didn't run over. He hit the curb.
And still to this day, he won't tell me, you know, hey Matthew, what happened to the vehicle? Well, you know, something happened. I ran over the curve. You know, he won't even tell me still to this day exactly what he really did. So the frame is bent. It's cracked actually, and he tore up the front tire on the right side. That's actually busted, and then in the rear frame, the rear
axle.
Not the axle. The rear of the tire. What do you call the
rim?
The rim. The rear frame. The rear rim is actually bent as well. So that vehicle's total.
Right.
It's total.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's crazy. And so, man, I don't know what you do with something like that. I just want to give it to the junkyard and tell them to take it.
That'd be a good choice there. I quit letting him drive to start with. And I remember taking your class too, and I don't remember tacos and donuts and stuff.
Oh, come on,
I'm going to have to call you out on that one, Michael. Where was that at?
No.
Yeah, I mean, your class was great, man. I tell everybody to take your class. You make it fun and all that stuff.
You got
and
tacos.
Very educational.
You got pizza.
No.
You got pizza.
Did we get pizza?
Look closer.
Yeah.
Yes, there was pizza.
All right, see there?
That's my wife dropping me in the grease for everybody to know. But did we get pizza?
Yes.
Oh. It must not have been on my diet, Michael. Something like that.
All right, so yeah, you know, man, I tell you, he trashed this vehicle. Let me tell you, he just totaled this crazy.
Yeah, if you've been the frame and stuff like that, I mean, they can be repaired, but they'll probably repair them and make a salvage title out of it or something. You know what I mean? But That's more for a collision repair place like your
Right.
average paint and body place. They can straighten them out, but it may be better just to go get another one.
All right. So what else you guys do?
Well, I mean, basically we just build classic cars all day long, and we do 10 episodes a year. They give us a year to give them 10 hours of TV. So that's what we do. And it usually takes us about 8 months to do a car. Of course, if you watch TV, you think we do it in 50 minutes. But it doesn't work like that, right? We get to do a lot of fun stuff, besides building cars. And we've got a great crew at the shop is a thing. Everybody's dedicated and they're very passionate about what we do. So it puts out a great product. And it's worked very well because I think our waiting list right now is going on about 4 years. So that's, the power of TV is a thing.
Wow.
When we first come down here, and then the shop's, west of Dripping about 10 or 15 miles out in the middle of nowhere. But
Right.
now, we have like a 4-year waiting list. So
Wow.
it's been good to everybody.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You work on many old Broncos?
Yeah, if you can find them.
Oh, I love those.
Do you
old
have one?
Broncos. No, I
Yeah, there
wish.
you go. If you can find them, yeah, that would be an episode. An
Yeah,
old
you can
Bronco.
find them. They're just ridiculously expensive.
Yes. Yes.
Even just for a track out one.
Yeah. Yeah. All these
18 grand.
Yeah, all these car shows, what they do, they make everybody start digging. And they'll dig out some stuff that they shouldn't dig out, but they think, oh man, I've seen them do it, so this can be done and stuff. So, but that being said, there's a lot of dollars that go in that. You can go buy you a couple of brand new cars for
Yep.
about
Easy.
5 brand new cars. Matter of fact, about what you have in one of these, they get up there pretty good. But keep in mind, that being said, you have a brand new car with a classic body on it. Basically, what it is, it's all state of the art. The suspension, the brakes, the steering, the motor, everything in the AC, the radio, everything is like if you go down here and buy your new Cadillac. So
You have to do a lot of fabrication. When
yes,
you're,
yes, yeah.
So you're a real good welder then, huh?
Well, I do what I can. Mainly, that's what I do in the shop now. It's fab work. When we first started, there was only a few guys, so we all kind of had to help each other out and stuff. But now we have people that kind of dedicate to certain areas that we can kind of exhale a little bit and enjoy it a little bit more.
That's nice.
And you have a Jeep.
I do. Mm-hmm.
So, we should be able to soup that Jeep up a little bit.
Jeeps are cool.
Yeah, it's 2007, so I mean,
yeah, Jeeps are cool.
Still gotta.
He needs some help because what he's done is he's done some things that I just don't like.
Yeah, well, it's to each its own.
I
mean, we have some cars show up and it's
just
like
don't like it.
You don't want to say anything, but you're like, damn, But you just tell them how great it is and carry on.
Yeah.
Michael's just hating.
No, I'm not hating. I just don't like it. All right, we're talking about Jeeps, talking about cars, talking about guns. We're going to talk about gun laws. We're going to talk about some different shootings. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
This is Coleon Noir, and you're listening to Come and Talk It with Michael Cargill.
Hello, my name is Edwin Walker. I'm an independent program attorney with Texas Law Shield. I want to talk to you today about an issue that we see on a daily basis. In fact, you yourself will encounter it on a daily basis, and that is the subject of road rage. I am sure that you have all seen road rage. You may have actually been involved in a road rage incident. Now, if you're a responsible gun owner, I'm going to give you a few words of advice on how to react when you find yourself in one of these unfortunate road rage incidents. While on the roadways, we all observe something that makes us upset. Whether it's poor driving, unsafe driving, or just simply somebody being very discourteous. By all means, you should restrain yourself from engaging that person and telling them how bad their actions were, because this can be perceived as an act of road rage. If you're a lawful gun owner, you
CBS
have a
News
firearm
brief.
in your
Texas
vehicle,
slowly
you do
recovering
not
from the
want to be
massive,
viewed
deadly
as the
winter
aggressor
storm.
in
Only
a road
around
rage
30,000
situation.
customers now without power, according to the
Now,
governor.
with regard to a
Fort Worth
situation
Mayor
where an
Betsy
individual
Price on
has
CBS's
chosen
Face
to
the
rage
Nation.
against
Citizens are
you,
depending on
and
their
you are the
local
actual
leaders to
victim of the
insist that
road
we get
rage,
answers.
if
And
you
we're going
and
to
the other
demand those
individuals
answers of
are
the state,
still in
because
their
the state runs the
automobiles,
power grid.
Dan
do
Parsons
not
of the Better
use your
Business Bureau in
firearm
Houston
to
is telling
respond
homeowners,
to any
watch
of
out.
the
What you don't
rangers'
want is to knock on the
activities.
door. Hi, I'm here
This
to
is
fix your
because
pipes.
law enforcement
That you don't
views
want.
the fact that you're
Because
both
they get
still
more work than they
safely
could
in your
possibly
metal
do.
boxes
Anyone doing that,
as
chances
removing
are
any
better than
threat of
50% they're gonna
immediacy
scam you.
that you
White
may
House
be
Press
harmed.
Secretary Jen Psaki says
So
the
please, if
administration
you
is
have a
trying to
gun,
get COVID
somebody
vaccine
is
doses
raging
delayed by
against
the
you,
storm to their
forget you have a
destinations.
gun.
We can't control Mother
Don't
Nature, no one
display it,
can,
don't
but we can
brandish
certainly
it,
contingency
don't show
plan.
it,
And what our team
don't
has been
point
doing
it,
and preparing
and
to
for
do
God's
is
sake,
engage
don't
with
fire
and
it.
work with the Postal
This
Service,
could
work with
result
FedEx
in
and
a lot
others
of
to get
trouble
those
for you.
doses out.
She was on ABC.
Now let's look at a
CBS News
situation
Brief.
where a
I'm
road
Steve
rage
Futter.
incident has escalated. It has escalated to the point where one of the participants has actually gotten out of their vehicle. We recommend that you stay in your vehicle at all times. Do not exit your vehicle, because the person who exits their vehicle is going to be looked at as the aggressor. If the other individual has exited their vehicle and they are not in contact with your vehicle and they do not have a weapon, then do not feel that you can display your weapon in an act of self-defense. People are allowed to just simply stand there and scream at you, scream whatever they want. Until they make a demonstrative effort to try to harm you, there is no immediate threat that would justify displaying or shooting or brandishing your firearm. Now, in the event that the person shows their own weapon, in particular a firearm, the existence of their weapon would give you reasonable belief that there was an immediate threat of harm that would justify an act of force or deadly force. Even in this situation.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so we're back and we're talking about, let me tell you. Okay. So was it the right decision for Texas Senator Ted Cruz to take a vacation in Mexico while his home state was in a state of emergency? Now, let me tell you, give me a call. My calling number is 512-643-5483. That's 512-643-5483. 512-643-LIVE. Give me a call. Was it the right decision for Texas Senator Ted Cruz to take a vacation in Mexico while his home state was in a state of emergency? And let me tell you, I'm a big supporter of Ted Cruz. I love Ted Cruz. You know, I'm 100% Ted Cruz, 100% without a doubt. He supports the Second Amendment. I support him without a doubt. I support Ted Cruz. Don't call me. Don't make threats, because I don't care. I carry a gun. It doesn't matter. You know, I support Ted Cruz, okay? So don't make threats to me. Don't call me. Don't call the shop, you know, and tell me, you know, how much of a loser you think I am, because I don't care. I don't care. I support Ted Cruz. But my question is, was it right decision for this senator to take a vacation in Mexico while his home state, the state of Texas, was in a state of emergency? All right, so give us a call. Once again, that's 512-643-5483. That's 512-643-LIVE. Give us a call. All right, so we have inside the studio, man, we have a special guest. We have Mike Z. He's on the show Iron Resurrection, and we're talking about guns. We're talking about current events, and we're talking about, you know, just everything, really. And so I want to know what your thoughts are.
Well, actually, we have one of our Facebook listeners, Thomas Harrison. He wants to know if you've ever crossed paths with Bama Brown.
Oh, Bama Brown. Bama Brown. Bama Brown. There's a whole long story that Bama Brown. Yes, he's on our. He makes guest appearances on our show, and I had to apologize to all the guys in the shop because I'm the reason he's there. Because I met him in a gym I go to. So and he was telling me about all these great cars he had and stuff. So we loaded up and went and looked at his. I call it a wrecking yard, but
great cars.
Yes, I know Bama Brown. So but he's a character.
That.
He's a great guy. Don't get me wrong, but we butt heads every once in a while.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he likes to talk too a lot. So,
All right, so tell me what happened to Shorty?
well, Shorty, he people don't know, but Shorty, he lives in Dallas, and he has a paint shop in Dallas, and he commutes up here. He was commuting up here every week.
Okay.
I mean, that's a 4-hour drive. He'd get here on Tuesday, and he'd have to leave on a Friday morning, and he did that for 3 solid years. You know, he was committed to the show and stuff, and it just got, I think it just got too much for him, you know. So, and he just recently had a grandbaby a year ago or so. So, you know, he just kind of peeled it back and wanted to go take care of his shop and his family and stuff.
All right. So does Joe Martin have a brother?
Yes, yes,
Ooh,
yes, he sure does. Yeah, that's the other part of the Martin brothers. So, and he's primarily solely responsible for our program. You know, he's the one that thought it up, and we shot this little teaser reel after we moved down here, and his name's Jason Martin, and Jason, he headed it all up, and we got us our teaser reel made, and we sent it in, and it was awful, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I saw it, and it was embarrassing.
Oh, no.
But it did the trick. You know what I mean? It got somebody's attention up there, which Joe already had credit with Discovery Channel from doing these things. They had biker build-offs back in the mid-2000s and stuff, and so they had this one, and it's called the World Biker Build-Off, and there was 3 countries involved, and Joe got picked to represent the United States, and he won. So, I mean, he got a lot of credit then. He's got a phenomenal talent with cars and bikes. So, long story short, man, we just worked real hard and waited and worked hard and kept on working, and then finally showed up.
And did Kato leave Iron Resurrection?
Yes, Cato's wife, she he was with us for a couple of years, but his wife got relocated. She's a doctor, and she got relocated to Atlanta. So it's one of those things where, like, we're moving to Atlanta. So, but he's got his own shop up there. Yes, that's exactly right. I think she's the breadwinner of the house, so that's like, she's the alpha. You know what I mean, Michael? You know what I mean?
That's kind of like walking to the gun store. You go into the gun store, you buy a gun, you take it home, and all of a sudden you come back the next day. My wife says I have to return this.
Well,
That's not
I don't get that, Michael. Thank God.
I'm just telling you, it happens. It happens a lot. My wife said I have to return this. This is
Yeah.
breaking up my marriage.
She says I have enough. I'm not,
but not any.
but her definition of enough is different than mine.
Right,
He
right.
never has enough.
See,
Never.
never. But yeah, back to Cato. He did. He's at a shop up there. He works out of Brian Fuller's shop up in Atlanta. So he's doing really well, and I'm happy for him.
Nice. And did Shorty leave Martin Brothers?
Yes.
He did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, man.
Yeah, he's been gone for a year. This will be the 2nd year he's been gone. So we're in our 5th season. So he left after season 3. You know,
Oh, okay.
so it was just, I'm sure it was just a beat down for him. I told him I couldn't do it for a week, much less 3 years.
Ooh.
Commuting. Can you imagine?
Right,
You know,
right.
back and forth, back every week.
Right.
I mean, for 3 years straight. So
All right. So Zach. So tell me, Zach, was it okay for Ted Cruz to leave Texas and go to Mexico? I'm putting you on the spot, Zach.
I guess it shows how much he really cares about the state that he represents.
Because
during
I
the
hate,
crisis.
I hate to say it, you know. Oh man, you know what? I'm probably gonna throw up once I say this. Okay, hold on. Let me get together. AOC raised $2 million, and she's flying to Texas.
She's coming to Texas?
She's coming to AOC is coming to Texas. She's raised $2 million in aid for Texas, and she's flying to Texas into Houston, the same airport that Ted Cruz flew out of to go to Mexico, and she's bringing aid in. And you know what? Hold on, I'm about to throw up. I'm trying to hold it in.
don't do it, Michael. I'll lose my cookies too, man.
I'm trying
Don't
to
do
hold it in. I'm trying to
Don't
hold it
do
in. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, she's flying in. AOC.
What about her constituents in the Bronx? Is she still
they're
representing them?
They're poor scum. You know? She doesn't care about them. You know, the poorest of the poor. That's trash over there. You know.
Maybe Ted Cruz should have raised.
It's
$2
called the
million.
Bronx. Say what now?
Maybe Ted Cruz should have raised that $2 million.
He should have raised some money for
But
it.
he didn't.
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts.
AOC saw an opportunity and she took it.
He's going to take a hit from that one.
I think so. He already is taking hits.
Yeah.
There's a great headline. What does it say? One Texas family had to travel 1,700 miles for power, water, and food.
Man, it's bad, man. This week, let me tell you. Okay, so for like us, our power went out, so we lost power. We only lost power for like 24 hours. That was it.
Lucky.
It wasn't that bad. And then once we lost the power came back on. So then we lost water, for like 24 hours. And then the water came back on. The pressure wasn't high. That came back on. But we didn't have heat the entire week. Ever since Sunday until yesterday, that's when our heat came back on.
Because your heater was broken?
No, let me tell you. That's a whole nother story. So I've actually had two people from the that's in that industry come out and take a look at the heat. They came out, they took a look at it. We're like, oh, you need to get a special device, for your heater. You need to do all this stuff. So then what really happened was I go out there yesterday and I boiled some water and I poured on the device, because what happened was my entire AC, my heating system, was frozen solid. Complete blocks of ice, a complete block of ice. So I went out there, made 20 trips outside, boiled some water. I poured it on the heater, I reset the circuit breakers. I didn't start a fire. Fire department, Austin Fire Department, my hats off to you. I didn't start a fire. And then, boom, the heat started. I got heat. Entire week, no heat. The dogs are like, hey, you, Darky, aren't you the breadwinner? We need some heat. You need to do something. So make it happen. So I had to do something. I had to do something because we had the fireplace. I had to go out every day. And by the way, I hope if you see a guy, black guy in a red shirt, taking some wood from somewhere,
chopping your tree down.
My bad. I needed wood. You got to do what you got to do. So I had to grab some wood, and build a fire in the fireplace, and that's how we boiled water. It was like the Waltons. You remember the Waltons?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
It was like the Waltons. Let me tell you. Every morning I would get up, I'll boil some water in the fireplace, in a big, huge pot in the fireplace, and I would pour water in the different sinks. We have 3 different sinks in the house in the back. We have 3 different bathrooms. So I pour water in the sink, block it off. I said, okay, everybody, we have hot water in the sink. You guys can go ahead and wash your face and brush your teeth. You got some warm water. It was like the Waltons.
Well, we were melting snow.
Oh,
for the toilets.
Oh,
we fortunately though we never lost power.
Right.
But there was no water from the well house coming either on the pump. You know what I mean? So
now I held it in for like 2 or 3 days, and then the water came back on. I went to the gun store, to the shop.
Yeah.
The water was on there, and let me tell you, I stayed there for a good day, and I had to do my business 3 trips. Yeah. I made 3 trips to the toilet.
Yeah. If you had to pee, you just went outside.
Yeah.
But
now that was
and
another
then
story.
there's a rule too that goes along with that, though, Michael. If you use the toilet, you got to bring a bucket of snow back in. You got to go get a bucket of snow for the toilet.
You got to, because me and the dogs, we went out and I said, "Hey, dogs, let's go. It's morning time. Let's all go out and pee."
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, we just got our water on this morning. I fixed the.
Really?
Finally thawed out enough I could find the leaks, and they showed up. Just shooting right out of the ground, you know what I mean? So, I go to Home Depot to get the parts I need, and there's a waiting line to get in the plumbing section.
Yep.
We're talking guns. We're talking urinating. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack Jones here, and I get my gun news from Michael Cargill on Come and Talk It.
That is not good. Not outside. In here. Don't go outside. It's too cold. Stay inside here. Holy shit, what is happening? off their backpack. I don't want to.
Oh my God!
Oh my God. Well,
What the fuck?
there goes our house.
So I live in Texas, and we've had no power for the last 28 hours. But good news, the lights are back on.
Oh my God!
I guess I'm just too tough to cry.
I'm headed straight for.
We have 5 minutes. We gotta go. We gotta go. What do you want? Anything? One thing. Pick it. What do you want?
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so they give me a hard time here. You know, we're talking about, our wrecked vehicle, the company vehicle at Central Texas Gun Works, and how, one of our employees actually totaled our vehicle by running over a curve. And yes, at Central Texas Gun Works, we beat the employees. We spanked them. We beat them. That's right. That's right.
You're going to get a flood of applications here next week.
I know. I probably will. It's like, what, speeding, beatings, spankings. Can I apply? All right. All right. My producer's warning me. All right. So, all right. We're looking at the the shooting that happened in Vallejo, California. We're looking at that. It was a store owner. These two guys actually walked into a store, pretty much a convenience store, and both of them had firearms. And when he walked into the store, the owner of the store was actually vacuuming. So then the guys walk in, they walk to the right side of the store. He backs up down the aisle, and then these guys had firearms. They pulled their guns out. And so what he did, he backs down the aisle, he pulls out his handgun, he starts shooting, and let me tell you, and he ended up getting shot, And so that's when I'm telling you, proficiency's got to kick in. You got to have that, you got to practice, you got to go to the range, and be proficient with your firearm. You pull that gun out, you look at that front sight, that rear sight, and you stop that threat. It's up to you to protect yourself and also protect your loved ones, because his daughter was behind the counter. And she's actually downrange, so to speak. And so these guys are actually, he ran them out, but he ended up getting shot. He ran them out of the store, and they had actually rifles. And so he ends up going to the hospital in critical condition, and it's a very terrible scene there. Very bad. And it's also, do you know today is the anniversary of the Malcolm X assassination? On this day, in 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated in New York City, and Malcolm X was 39 years old. He was shot while addressing a crowd at the Audubon Ballroom in Washington Heights in New York City. And so take a listen at this video here. All right. So yeah, and so it was 1965, and so take a look at this video here.
I frankly believe that every Negro in the country should learn judo and karate.
How about carrying a weapon?
If it's legal for a man to carry or have in his possession a rifle or a shotgun, especially faced with what Negroes in this country are confronted with, they should have it. They shouldn't go out attacking someone with it, but in the face of the brutality that our people encounter, it's not unjust to teach a Negro to have a shotgun or a rifle in his house.
What if it were illegal to have a shotgun or a rifle in a prison zone? Yeah, what if it were illegal? That's correct. Would you still advocate it?
We never advocate. I would never advocate anything illegal.
Even in an area where Negroes could be attacked?
I would never advocate anything illegal.
All right, so even Malcolm X talked about, gun ownership. He talked about, owning firearms, having rifles. And I don't know if you guys know this, in Texas, here we are in Texas, it's actually legal for you to have a rifle, shotgun in the open and walk down the street with it in Texas. That goes all the way back to 1870.
Without a license?
Say it again?
Without a license.
Without a license. You don't need a license to walk down the street and carry a rifle, shotgun, AR-15, AK-47. That's right. As long as you're not pointing at anyone, as long as you're not threatening them, you can actually have a rifle. Why, you want to walk down the street with your rifle?
We did that a few years back, remember?
We did.
You had your hoodie on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we walked down Congress.
Down South Congress.
Yeah, on the left-hand side there. And this guy was like, oh, you guys are like, I can't say what he said on the air, but he's like, you guys are, I was like, yeah, we are, but you know what? I can, and I am, and I did, whether you like it or not. So that's legal. It goes up all the way back to 1870. So it's important that I learned a lot, because someone asked, did we learn anything from this past week? Did you learn anything from not having water, not having power? The grocery store is running out of food, having to boil your water while no electricity. Did you learn anything from this week? And let me tell you, I learned a lot. Did you learn anything, Zach?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you learn? I pulled out, I actually have containers of water. Don't laugh at me. I have containers of water, and I have dates on the water, because my other half dates everything is like, a super prepper. So we actually have containers of water that actually were dated for 2013 that we use for the water for the toilet, because it was 2013. I was like, it's kind of old. We might not want to drink that unless we boil it. Hey, let's use it for the toilet.
That's genius.
It was. What is? Yeah.
It's better than melting snow.
Oh, man.
Well, here's the deal with snow. When you melt it down, you can have a 5-gallon bucket of it, and you get an inch of water.
Oh, yeah.
So, bless her heart, we had them going on the stove. We set them over the vents. I mean, anything that was making heat, it had a bucket of snow on it. So
you guys lose power?
No.
Thank
God. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know what we would have done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
honestly,
rough. That's rough.
Yeah. The water thing you can deal with.
Right.
So I slipped up in town and I found, Home Depot had some cases of water there. I couldn't believe it. So I grabbed 6 cases so we had stuff to drink. But, our whole water system was just froze.
Yeah.
So you can make it, but it's just not. I learned that I don't like snow as much as I thought I did. So I can tell you that much.
I know. I went to Fiesta. I actually went to Fiesta on Sunday. I was like, man, this is, the weather is saying, the weather reporters are saying this is going to be pretty bad. Let me go to Fiesta and let's get some meat. Everyone's at HEB. No one's at Fiesta. HEB, they're like, HEB is crowded. There's a line at the door. It's like mayhem. I went to Fiesta. There were like 10 people in Fiesta.
Oh.
No one's in Fiesta, right? I go in Fiesta. I go in there and I load up on meats. I get steak. Forgive me. I get shrimp.
Oh, man.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I get chicken. And so, this whole time, this week, we ate good. We didn't have power. We lost power. We lost water. Yeah, we did. But you know what? We had steak. We had shrimp. We had chicken. We ate good.
You sure did.
I didn't have much, as far as resources. But let me tell you, I ate great with the chicken, the shrimp, and the steak. I had bone-in steak.
I would have been happy with finding some popcorn when I went looking for it.
Oh, I had that too. He should have called me.
Yeah.
He should have called. Mike, I need some popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'll be there in like 5 minutes.
I went to the store the first couple of days. After that, it's like you said, everybody had a cart waiting in line. Oh. And it was a quarter mile long. I said, baby, it's a no-go.
Yeah.
It's a no-go.
HEB was crazy. HEB on like Old Torf. Man, there was like that line was like almost a mile long.
Yeah.
Oh, a Fiesta right around by the time Wednesday, Thursday rolled around, it was a long line. You know,
We didn't have internet either, so we were watching old DVDs.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
See, now I have the smart TV, so you know.
We do too, but no internet, and we don't do cable.
So if you no internet, but you have power, I can project my cell phone from the cell phone, you know, to the TV, and I can watch Netflix.
Well,
See, gotta call your Generation X, your son up. Say, hey, how do I do? How do I do this? He can tell you, he could have told you how to do that.
Yeah. Well, we just took turns picking movies.
Did you?
know? Yeah. So, you know,
I got a lot of
win
rest.
some, lose some on that deal. You know what I mean?
And I got a lot of rest. You know, I
Yeah.
rested good. You know, so it was a
Yeah.
good week. All right, so tell me, you know, what's your favorite gun? Because you like guns.
I love guns.
You like guns.
Yeah, I love guns.
So tell me, you know, what's your concealed carry piece? What do you like to carry?
I carry a little Kimber.
Nice.
The little micro Kimber,
Okay.
9mm. I love that gun. I call it my little baby. You know, my wife's got one she calls the baby, but it holds 30 rounds.
30 rounds.
So mine only holds 8, and she's like,
Good Lord.
yeah. Go get the baby. You know what I mean? But
That's not a baby if it holds 30 rounds.
but I've got a little selection of
Joe
them.
Biden's looking for that one.
Yeah, well,
He say he's gonna get 30 rounds.
yeah,
It's in the lake.
yeah.
He's gonna get that
Yeah, I
one.
take all that back, man. But no, I've got a few, you know, and I get them all through you, Michael. So you know, you can look back and see what I have. You know, you may know more about them than I do.
Yeah, I can't tell. You know,
Yeah.
we're sworn to secrecy in the
Yeah,
gun store.
yeah.
You know, we can't tell what our customers come and pick up.
Yeah, but
I'll never tell.
I like a variety. You know, you never can tell. So, but you know, I mean, I have probably the gun that's dearest to my heart's my dad's old hunting rifles. So, like he was talking earlier, just carrying rifles and stuff. So, I have that in my safe, and that's probably but the one I carry around for me is my little Kimber. So,
All right. We're talking with Mike Z. Mike Z, we're talking to him. We're talking about gun laws. We're talking about current events. We're going to talk about that bill that, you know, there's a possibility. Well, someone's trying to push that through legislation. We're talking about they want universal background checks. They want you to register your firearms. They want to know who's out in the house. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
This is Coley on Noir, and you're listening to Come and Talk It with Michael Cargill.
Whether it's a typical traffic stop or you're just involved in a use of force incident, encounters with law enforcement can be scary and stressful. In the heat of the moment, you may inadvertently say something you don't mean or make an inconsistent statement. These are red flags for officers, and if they think you're lying or your story doesn't add up, they might arrest you and let the criminal justice system decide your fate. Police officers are trained to get information from you without making the interaction seem like a formal interrogation. But remember, from the moment an officer arrives on scene, everything you say and everything you do will be scrutinized in court. The prosecuting attorney will attempt to use anything and everything against you. So what do you say? You say, I invoke my right to remain silent, and then let your attorney interact with law enforcement on your behalf. One important note though, do not throw common sense out the window. For example, if the intruder's hiding somewhere in your house when the police arrive, or if you saw the perpetrator pitch his weapon into your backyard, quickly tell the police and then stop talking. You might ask, what about my rights? What if the police never read me my Miranda rights? Miranda rights is the common name for a collection of rights contained in the Miranda warnings, given to suspects when they're placed under arrest. The warning comes from a 1966 Supreme Court case, Miranda v. Arizona. In that case, the court held that statements from a custodial interrogation would not be admissible unless proper procedural safeguards were in place to protect the defendant's Fifth Amendment rights. We've all seen these warnings on TV and movies. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to have an attorney. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, and so on. So do police have to read you your rights? No. It's important to note that officers are not required to read you these rights unless you're in custody and subjected to interrogation. If the police show up to a crime scene and start asking you general questions and you voluntarily tell them everything that happened, those statements can be used against you regardless of the Miranda warnings because you're not in custody. If you're put in handcuffs but you say something incriminating on your own without being questioned, those statements can and will be used against you because you're not being interrogated. You're just starting to spout off. This is why it's imperative that you know your rights, and you shouldn't rely on the police to read them to you. Affirmatively invoke your rights. Say, I'm invoking my right to remain silent, and my right to my attorney. Once you do that, the police legally shouldn't continue questioning you without your attorney present. But remember, there's a second part to this equation. After invoking your rights, you must exercise those rights. That means you have to keep your mouth closed. Protect yourself. Don't let the legal system take advantage of you after an incident. And Law Shield members, if you've been involved in a self-defense incident, remember to call the emergency hotline and speak with your independent program attorney.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, so we're back and we're talking about current events, talking about shootings that happen around the country. We're talking about, the snow. We're talking about the ice. Austin, Texas, apocalypse. What are they calling it? What are you calling it, Zach?
The snowpocalypse?
The snowpocalypse? Man, it was crazy. All right. So police arrest 37 in a child sex trafficking operation. 37 people. And so police say 37 people have been arrested in connection to a large-scale child sex crimes and human trafficking operation. The Phoenix, Mesa, Tempe, and Chandler police departments partner with Homeland Security and the Arizona Attorney General's office for Operation Broken Hearts, an undercover operation targeting sexual predators engaged in child sex crimes and human trafficking. So throughout the operational period, officers and undercover detectives placed ads on websites and apps, which are commonly sought out by suspects seeking illegal sex acts with children. Read a portion of the Phoenix police statement. And the police say the suspects, who range in ages from 21 to 66 years old, solicited sex act with undercover officers and were subsequently arrested. Man.
Every single one of these 37 mugshots I'm looking at looks like somebody straight out of my nightmares.
Cray. They all look crazy. Yeah. And I know you're innocent until proven guilty, but they all look crazy.
Yeah.
So just put it out there. You're innocent until proven guilty, but they all look cray. Yeah, I wouldn't invite any of these people to Thanksgiving.
No.
I would kick him out of the gun store. Seriously. Insane. I'm telling you. All right, so, and then also, there's just like so much going on. All right, so researchers propose ethically correct AL for smart guns that locks out mass shooters. What is that all about? All right, so a trio of computer scientists from the Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in New York recently published research detailing a potential AL intervention for murder an ethical lockout. So basically, the big idea here is to stop mass shootings and other ethically incorrect uses for firearms throughout the development of an OWL that can recognize intent.
Artificial intelligence.
Is that what I'm saying, OWL?
Probably, right?
All right. AI. All right. AI. That can recognize intent, judge whether it's the ethical use, and ultimately render a firearm inert if a user tries to ready it for improper fire.
Oh, yeah. I don't see any problems with that.
That sounds like a lofty goal. In fact, the researchers themselves refer to it as a blue sky idea. But the technology to make it possible is already here. So we'll see how that works out. You don't think it's possible?
That's Biden's wet dream. Have AI in every single gun on the planet.
You're not going to dump that? You're going to let that pass? Oh, my God. See, I say anything, he gets dumped.
The producer likes me better.
Oh, my goodness. All right, so that's just crazy there. That's crazy. All right, so I can't get over that one. That was good. That was really good.
I mean, there's a lot of issues with that type of technology, right?
Yeah.
Who's in control of it? What are the parameters that are set, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see anything but bad news coming out of something like that.
All right, so check this out. At a virtual meeting on Thursday against a backdrop of at least 4 guns, Representative Lauren Boebert of Colorado slammed a House committee's proposed rule to bar people from carrying firearms in its hearing room at the Capitol. Now, this rule is absurd. It's actually crazy. Boebert said, what, in front of a bookshelf stacked with firearms, she's like, "Look here are all my guns. Come and take them." She literally had her gun stacked up behind her in the video. They're having a meeting about, talking about, should we allow guns on the House floor? Should we not? And so during the conference call with the House Natural Resource Committee, this is a blatant violation of our constitutional rights, she says, and she's right. The freshman Republican called on the committee's chair, Democratic Rep. Raul, I can't even say his last name, don't even want to, from Arizona, to issue her personal security detail if the committee went ahead with the measure. I agree. People like Mayor Adler, the mayor of city of Austin, he's always, he never gives up a chance to actually talk about the Second Amendment and how, we need to do something about guns.
It was a lapse in judgment.
He should give up. He should totally give up his security detail. Totally, just, give it up. Also, Speaker Nancy Pelosi, if you don't want to allow other U.S. senators or your U.S. House of Representatives to actually, carry firearms on the House floor, then you need to give up your security detail as the Speaker of the House. Why should you have security? Why can't they protect themselves?
Go
ahead.
Some things I have to bite my tongue. You know what I mean, Michael?
Tell me how you really feel.
That may be an off-air discussion we had, but maybe something like that. But
it's crazy. I mean, because they think they're holier than thou. They can actually, they can have security. They can have, the Secret Service. They can have, their own private security. But we as citizens should not be able to protect ourselves.
Well, yeah, the guys that push for gun control actually have 4 to 7 people around them at all times that have fully automatic short barrel rifles in their jackets.
Yeah. Well, everybody should be able to feel secure in life. You know what I mean? And if it's our right to be able to do that, so.
And we're responsible for our own security.
Yeah, I'm all for the background checks and doing it right and stuff. And Michael's classes and stuff, they're all great. And I'm all for that. But if that's our right, you don't be trying to yank it. You know what I mean? For all the people that's doing it right, don't punish us.
Yeah.
I guess is what I'm saying.
That's what tends to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. That can be a vicious cycle,
So the rep says here's a reality for you. If somebody wants to have a shrine to their gun fetish at a Zoom backdrop in their private life, they can do it. And so and I agree. Hey, if you want to have your guns in your backdrop in Zoom, you should be able to do that. I totally disagree with the fact that you have kids who are in Zoom in classes, whether it be high school, middle school, whatever, and they have a Nerf gun or a water gun in the backdrop, hanging out on a shelf. And the fact that they actually suspend or expel these kids from school because they have a water gun in the background. I think that's crazy.
What happened to the water gun fights when you were a kid?
I just don't get it.
What happened to that? So
it's crazy to me. It's just totally crazy. So man, I tell you, and I think our elected officials, whoever, citizens, regular citizens, should be able to carry a gun wherever they need to carry a gun to protect themselves. I totally think and the fact that anyone wants to stop that from happening, especially when you have private security, we need to pull their security, pull that money, pull those funds, yank it, take it away. All right, so man. Let's see. And you know what? Check out Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. We had HEB. People are lining up in HEB, outside of HEB, going grocery shopping this week. If you're around the country, you're in, other parts of the country, don't mess with us too bad. We're not used to having this much, this type of weather. We're not used to having 10 degree, be in the teens and the single digits when it comes to weather.
Yeah, that's not Texas.
No, that's not.
That's
100. We're used to that.
Yeah.
You say 110.
Well, you know how it is with the fury of Mother Nature when she shows up. There's not anybody can do anything about it.
Right.
So you just sit there and bear through it, and the sun's coming. Just give it time. It didn't come quick enough this week, but it's coming.
That's right. And where you been, son?
Yeah.
don't ever leave me like that ever again.
Yeah.
Ever. But I tell you, you have people standing outside in lines and, 15, 20 degree weather, trying to get into the grocery store to get groceries at HEB. You had people that are standing in line, out at Fiesta, and it's just crazy. That's just where we are this week. This was a really tough week. And so my hat's off to people, that are, doing what they need to do. And I think every Texan, in 2021, you need an award. My hat's off to you. You need an award because this was tough.
Yeah.
This is really tough.
Yeah, it's kind of, that's not normal.
It's not normal.
That kind of temperature, that's not normal.
I mean, if I was up north, I'm in Ohio, I'm in Alaska. If you tell me it was a negative, 50 degrees, that's what we're talking about. This is like it was for us.
You tell me it's negative 50 degrees, I'm telling you bye.
Right.
See where I'm leaving.
I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.
Because this was rough times. No power. Some people had no water. Some people had no heat. It's really tough. It was really hard. And so my hat's off to everyone that pulled through because some people lost their life. We had a couple people actually freeze to death in Texas because of this. So this was really rough. Some family members had to be rescued. We had some fire trucks had to be, bailed out, so things like this, it happens, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I was telling Ellie, if we would have lost our electricity, I don't know what we would have done. You know what I mean, I would have been outside with a 55-gallon drum with a fire in it. We've been huddling, we've been camping out, 10 degrees. I mean, I don't know what else you do.
Yeah. And it's like every Texan needs a badge of survival. I think every Texan now can go in survival for at least a week, and hang out because I think we survive. This is Michael Cargill, and you are listening to Come and Talk It.
Peace, this is Maj Toure. You're listening to Come and Talk It Radio with Michael Cargill.
Welcome back to Come and Talk It. And now here's Michael Cargill.
All right, Aaron, Aaron, I'm going to get you later, Aaron. I see your text message, and I'll get you later. You belong to me. You going to learn a little later. All right, so that's an inside joke there. All right, so we're talking about some current events. We're talking about, man, that bill before Congress. Where do we start with this one? All right, so this is H.R. 127. H.R. 127.
Oh, that's the ban all guns bill, huh?
That's the ban every gun. That's you need to have every family member, even your ex-wife, ex-spouse, whatever, needs to have a mental eval. You need to register your firearms. That's the everything bill. They have lost their ever-loving mind. And so this is why it's important for us for the next 2 years, in the midterm elections, you got to get out and you got to go vote. Because in 2 years, we got to fight now for the next 2 years. I'm even during the pandemic, I don't know what you call this thing that happened this past week with the ice age of Texas. I got a phone call from the Texas AG's office. They're like, "Hey, Mike." I'm like, "Yeah, AG. Hey, we heard you got a lawsuit against the federal government for bump stocks." I'm like, "Yeah, AG, what's up?" They said, "Hey, can we join into that fight?" I was like, "Yeah, AG, you can join in." I would love to have the AG, the Texas Attorney General, help me, fight the federal government.
Come on in.
You're right. It's right. They're like, "Hey, we didn't even know, a year later, we didn't know you guys were doing this, but hey, come on in." I was like, "Yeah, join this fight." So, it's important that you stand up, you fight the federal government. We fight, your city government. We fight whoever comes after our Second Amendment rights. You have to stand up. You have to draw the line in the sand. You say, "Hey, not here. You're not going to pass this line. I'm going to stand. I'm going to fight." And so I'm grateful to the Texas Attorney General who's going to, take a look into this and stand up and fight with us against the federal government, and it's not about bump stocks. It's about the fact that the federal government has said that something that you own, that you purchased legally, you have inside your home. They say, "Hey, I'm an agency within the federal government. I'm not even Congress. Congress is the only ones that they're the only ones that can create law. I'm not Congress, but I'm an agency within the federal government. I say, you know what, that item that you own is banned. I'm going to confiscate it, or you need to destroy it, and we're not going to compensate you for it, and it's illegal. If you don't turn it in, you don't destroy it, you're a felon." And the federal government does not have that authority. They don't have that authority to do that. That is up to Congress. Congress can create a law today, tomorrow, and say bump stocks or this item, that item is illegal, and then we're done. That's it. But Congress didn't do that. An agency, the ATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, said, "Hey, this item is illegal. It's banned. Got to turn in. If you don't, you're a felon." They don't have that authority. And so that's what it's all about. And so not about the item. It's about the authority of this agency. They don't have that authority. They don't have that right to do that. And so that's why we're fighting the federal government. We're fighting the Department of Justice. We're fighting the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. That's why when it comes to, the state of Texas, city of Austin, I'm fighting the city of Austin right now. I have a lawsuit against the city of Austin that we're appealing to the Third Court of Appeals, because the city of Austin has said, licensed holders cannot carry in city buildings. But you know what? They lost that case in district court. We won. You can now carry in city buildings. But you know what? My problem is the fight took 3 years. It took us 3 years fighting the city of Austin to tell them that, city of Austin, we're right. You're wrong. The Texas law is very clear. Well, they decided to fight us in court. And so we won. The judge fined them $9,000. They fined them attorney fees. And so we won that case. But you know what? We're appealing because my problem is the fight took 3 years. It was 3 years of us fighting. And the city of Austin should be fined for every single day they refuse to allow license holders to carry. And so we need to build that fine up, because once they understand the heftiness, the size of the fine, no other city, no other county, there are 250 something counties in the state of Texas, 254 counties in the state of Texas, they will say, you know what? Austin, that blue mecca, that blue dot in the sea of red in the state of Texas, fought, against gun owners, and they lost. And so we're saying, hey, you're going to learn. You're going to learn today. And so we're appealing this case to the Third Court of Appeals, and we're saying it shouldn't be $9,000 that they're fined. It should be $5 million. That money does not go to the state of Texas. That money goes to education for the state of Texas. And so that money doesn't go to me. So don't worry. I'm not going to collect $5 million. The only thing I get when I go to the city of Austin, I go to Austin Buildings. They show up and they look at me and they're like, hey, here, hey. They look at me and say, hey, that's the guy that's suing us. And so they're watching me to make sure that I don't make a mistake. So
He's a jackass.
That's right. So it's only a matter of time, before they get me. So when I fall, I'm gonna fall hard. So when I just watch out. When I go down, I'm going down hard. But we fight, and we fight on the local level, city level. We fight on the state level. We fight on the federal level. We have to. And it's up to you to stand with us and to fight, because we're going to have to fight for the next 4 years. We've lost, as far as gun owners have lost the House. Gun owners have lost the Senate. Gun owners have lost the House of Representatives and the White House. So it's going to be up to us to fight. And for the next 2 years, we're going to have to, fight until we can hopefully get control of the House, get control of the Senate as far as gun owners. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican, you're a Democrat, you're a Libertarian. We need to, any of those three entities or four, Green Party, they need to be gun owners. If they're gun owners, they represent the Second Amendment. We need to have those people, gun owners, the representatives of the Second Amendment, to support, what we're talking about, and that we can gain control of those houses back again. It's gonna take a while. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, it's a uphill battle, as they say.
Yeah.
All right.
A fist fight, right?
Oh yeah.
With both arms,
Arm wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of arm wrestle, you think you can take him in arm wrestle?
Hey man, just for the record, I'm not good at arm wrestling.
What? Come on.
Hey, I probably arm wrestled 5 times in my life. I've got my ass kicked 5
No.
times.
Yeah.
I'm just not. There's an art to it, and I don't have it.
It really is. It's all in the angle.
Yeah.
It's it really is. It really is.
Yeah. It's on the shoulder, like the rotator cuff.
Is it the shoulder?
Yeah.
I thought it was the arm or something.
I don't know.
The rotation of the shoulder.
You ever see those slap contests?
Yes, I love those.
Those are brutal.
They are.
Oh man, I've seen those too. Those are brutal.
And then there's one where they arm wrestle and they tie their hands together, and then they're arm wrestling, and with their other hand they can punch the other person.
Oh, that's a different game there.
Oh, that's crazy. You can punch the other person while you're arm wrestling? No, thank you. I'll pass. No, thank you.
Yeah, arm wrestling. No.
All right, so Biden actually authorizes supplies for Texas amid power outages, approves new disaster declarations. So basically what happens is the Homeland Security Advisor and Deputy National Security Advisor Liz Sherwood Randall told reporters Thursday afternoon that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, has supplied 60 generators to support critical sites like hospitals and water facilities, 729 liters of water, and more than 10,000 wool blankets and 50,000 cotton blankets and 225,000 meals to the state of Texas. Officials are also preparing for a possibility of further requests by Texas and getting ready to supply diesel fuel to power facilities, according to what she said. Well, guess what? It's 70 degrees now.
The freeze is over.
We're good.
Yeah, send us some new sunglasses or something.
We're good.
Yeah.
So appreciate you. But today is 70 degrees. I had people calling me from Pennsylvania like, hey, Mike, you're okay down there? You know, is everything all right? I'm like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
This is Texas, the Lone Star State.
Survivors.
We are survivors down here, baby. That's right. We're ready. We got a badge. We can hang it. We can do this. All right. So, yeah, a little too late. Sorry. We're good. Peace out. All right. So, man, you know what, Mike, tell me, where can we find your show and the name of the show one more time?
It's Iron Resurrection. It's on Motor Trend.
All right.
I'm sure there's different channels for all that, but it's Motor Trend TV. I mean, on all your, I don't know how many companies there are that provide TV now. You know,
Too many.
Too many. One of them. Yeah, but it's on one of them. So.
All right, so Mike, I want to thank you for coming down and sitting in the studio with us and talking to us about gun stuff. Iron Resurrection. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right, so as always, more guns equals less crime. You go out there and you buy yourself a gun. You've been listening to Come and Talk It with Michael Cargill.